What's up, guys? Gzus here again, and today I'm bringing you another Pokemon ORAS Wi-Fi battle. This one is actually going to be against Isaac again, because the last battle me and Isaac had, I thought was not as good as it could have been, and so we win again. So this is going to be an RU match. Actually, it was actually pretty cool, because he pretty much shoved all of my favorite Pokemon to use into one team unknowingly, and then was like, battle me. So when I looked at his team, I was like, wow, his team is really cool. And it was actually a really cool battle, so I wanted to share this with you guys. Let's go ahead and take a look at the teams. My team, excuse me, my team is actually quite a bulky offensive set, and I use this team because it uses Choice Scarf, Reckless Emboar, which will absolutely destroy your life, and it's one of my favorite Pokemon in RU. And I don't think I can emphasize enough how much of a monster this Pokemon is in the RU tier. And then I've got Doublade, I've got Abomasnow, again one of my favorite Pokemon to use. We've got Joe, the Hitmontop, and AB Slowking, best switch into Moltres of your life. And then we've got the Druddigon. I'm not sure if I said that already, but we've got Rocky Helmet Druddigon. On looking at his team, biggest threats to my team are going to be that Tyrantrum if it sets up 2 Dragon Dances, which hopefully I don't let it do, and that Steelix. The NU tier orbits around Steelix, so there's no change in that from RU. It's actually a really good Pokemon all around in the lower tiers, so I definitely need to watch out for that too. Although I am presuming that he is going to lead with that Steelix, so I'm going to go ahead and play accordingly. I'm going to go ahead and actually lead with your mom, because I want to set up my Stealth Rock, and I pretty much expected him to lead off with Steelix. And also, I really want to get at least a little bit of chip damage on Steelix, because damage on Steelix is always fantastic, because if that thing's at full health, it will run through your team. He's going to go ahead and Mega Evolve, revealing that he is the Mega Steelix, and he's going to get... Wow, that thing looks sick. But anyways, he's going to go ahead and go for the Stealth Rock, and then I'm going to go ahead and ejaculate rocks first, actually. Your mom's going to ejaculate rocks all over his side of the field, and then he's going to put rocks all over mine. Now, I wasn't really afraid of the rocks. I didn't want to really do anything to prevent the rocks, because rocks won't bother me. I have a Rapid Spinner rather than a Defogger with Foresight, so if I need rocks gone, I can take care of that later. Anyways, I'm going to go for the Fire Punch for that chip damage, and he gets a crit, and that's going to do an assload of damage. That's way too much for me to be comfortable with, but at least he got the chip damage I needed. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out, and I'm going to go into my Slowking. Now, at first I was like, Slowking could take a hit. It's, you know, it's got max HP. And then he actually goes for Earthquake, kind of expected, because he doesn't want to take the rough skin damage. And then that is actually going to do way too much as well. So he is going to switch out, because I actually did entice him to want to switch, and I knew Jellicent was probably going to come in, so I'm actually going to double out. And actually, part of why I doubled out was because I did way too much damage. So I'm going to double out. I'm going to go back into your mom, and at this point I just want to kind of death fodder this thing off so I can get a free switch in on this Jellicent. There's no reason for me to switch into anything other than this, because I don't want something maybe taking a Toxic or more damage than it really should. Then he makes a play I don't really agree with. He actually goes for the Recover rather than the Toxic or the Scald, which was kind of weird, but at the same time was kind of fine with me. I knew he was trying to stall me out, so I'm just going to go for the Dragon Claw there, because I want to force him to attack me, which would get me my free switch. So he is going to go for the Shatter Ball, and the Shadow Ball, and your mom is just going to kind of flop over and die there. So yeah, Druddigon's gone, which is kind of sad, but because I really wanted him for Ambipom, but that's fine. I'll deal with that later. I'm gonna go out into Blue Yerti, because I can't spell Yeti to save my life, and at this point I'm just gonna get off my Snow Warning so I can get some more residual damage on this Jellicent, because I don't want this thing walling me. I don't want this thing kind of stalling me out and destroying things that it really shouldn't have. So regardless of what he switches into, I am just gonna go for the Giga Drain. I don't think anything that I remember on his team is going to resist that anyway, so Giga Drain was really my best option there. I am going to Mega Evolve this turn, revealing my giant snowball looking thing, and he switches into Steelix. Now, that's kind of unfortunate, because like I said, I predicted the switch and just went for Giga Drain, but at the same time this thing is apparently so bulky that I can just live one at under half with no problem. But at the same time, with the residual damage I set up with the Hail, he is going to go down. So finally, Steelix is going to go down, and that is one less threat that I have to deal with on his team. Then he switches into Slurpuff, and I'm thinking to myself, oh my god, I just gave him a free switch into the Destroyer of Lives. But I have plans for this. So I'm going to go ahead and switch out, expecting him to set up the belly drum. His best play would have been to not set up the belly drum, but he does. You know, maybe that wasn't going to be his best play, but he could have really predicted me to switch. But anyways, he's going to go for the belly drum, and yeah, I'm going to switch into my Zanpakuto here, and all you Bleach fans can cry all you want. But I'm going to switch into Katen Kyokotsu, and he's going to go ahead and eat a citrus berry. At this point, I do have an Eviolite, and I know I can survive at least one hit. As long as this thing doesn't get Fire Punch. I don't know if this thing gets Fire Punch, and if it does, I'm just going to cry. But he goes for the Flamethrower. That is fantastic, and this is something I really trick people up with because they always expect me to carry Secret Sword, but I don't. I actually carry the Iron Head, and that is going to go ahead and knock out that cupcake-looking guy. So, yeah, that thing's dead. That's fantastic. He's going to go into Jolteon. This thing obviously has Shadow Ball. I mean, there's no question that that's why he would switch it in. And he's going to get the rocks damage, which is fantastic. I'm just going to go for a Shadow Sneak. I didn't really think I needed this anymore. The only thing I would really need this for is for priority, but I felt like that wasn't that important at this point in the battle. So I'm going to go ahead and fodder that off. That thing's just going to kind of flop and die, and Jolteon is going to get buffeted by that hail. At this point, I can just go ahead and get another free switch into my Blue Yeti because priority and stack damage is really what makes this team work. So, like I said, I want to accumulate as much damage on things so that I can come in and sweep with Embor later. So, like I said, I'm going to go for the Ice Shard there. It is going to live it, which actually kind of surprised me. But I don't really run that many attack EVs. I run more special attacks. So, anyways, he is going to go for the Volt Switch, take a little bit of damage from that. And he's going to go out into Ambipom. And I'm thinking to myself, this thing is going to be a huge nuisance. Because you never really know what movesets these things run. And, of course, the Fake Out's coming. So, at this point, I have to switch out. I don't want to take any damage that's really unnecessary. And I'm going to go into my boy Joe, get the Intimidate off, go to town, and just kind of sit there and dance while he cries. So, I thought I was looking pretty solid out here. And he's going to go for the Fake Out. First of all, that is going to do a lot more damage than I really expected it to because I am max defense, max HP. So I was kind of scared at that point, but I was like, all right, cool. Joe's sitting here dancing. He didn't really take that much damage, so he can probably stay in and take some hits. But then he goes for Aerial Ace, and that does way too much for me to feel comfortable with. And I'm just gonna go for the Rapid Spin on this turn because again, I was expecting a double hit, but that does way too much. But at the same time, I figured Joe can actually put in some work if I do it right, and I think I can live another Aerial Ace. So he knows that. He's going to go ahead and switch out into Jellicent because he knows that the close combat is coming, and that is actually exactly what I'm going to do. The obvious play was kind of the best play. So I'm going to go ahead and go for that close combat. Jellicent's going to eat that up because it's the Ghost type, and yeah, we're just going to go ahead and get some leftovers recovery. I can't not get over that dancing. That is fantastic. Anyways, I am going to go for the Toxic because there are two types of Hitmon tops, the ones with Sucker Punch and the ones with Toxic. Mine actually has Toxic. He didn't know that, and that's fantastic because that lets me sneak some poison onto this thing and make it a lot easier to take care of. He's going to go for the Shadow Ball. That is not actually going to do enough to be able to 2-hit KO me, and he is at this point just going to take some more leftovers damage, or I'm sorry, toxic damage. I'm going to go for the Foresight because I don't want this thing to keep attacking me, and at how low health it is, I can pretty much scare him out with the switch. So, scare him out into a switch. So, he is going to go for the Shadow Ball. That is not going to do enough. Like I said, that wasn't even a 2-hit KO, but he did make Hitmontop dance a little bit slower, which kind of makes me sad. Again, all he's doing is really staying in and taking more toxic damage, and I can just go for the close combat next turn and probably knock that thing out. But he is going to go ahead and switch out into the Jolteon, probably just sacking it off to get a free switch, and that thing is going to die to the Stealth Rock. So that was actually a really nice play, preserving Jellicent there. Jolteon wasn't really going to be too useful anymore to him, so it really didn't matter. And but at the same time, I'm just getting a little bit more leftovers recovery, which could help me out as well. So he's going to go ahead and go out into Ambipom. I'm thinking to myself, oh, that's probably why he did that. He wants to get off a free fake out, and I'm just going to stay in and take that and probably die to it. But that's fine. Joe put in more work than I really expected him to in this battle. He's put in more work than I've ever seen him put it before. So this is going to give me the chance to go back out into Blue Yeti and go ahead and get off an Ice Shard, as well as set up my my Hail again. So I'm looking pretty good on my side. I'm actually playing this game pretty confidently, and I'm pretty confident that I'll be able to win, but you never know. So he's going to go ahead and go for the double hit. That does an assload of damage, a lot more than I expected it to do, and that is going to kill Blue Yeti. That's unfortunate. Poor Blue Yeti. But he is going to die to the Life Orb, and that is going to take care of Ambipom's, which is fantastic. So he's going to go back out into Jellicent. That was kind of his best switch in at this point with the double down. I'm going to go ahead and go into King Derp, my AV Slow King, and I'm not sure if he knows, but I do carry Grass Knot on this, and that's probably what I'm going to go for. So he's going to go for the Shadow Ball. That's not going to do enough damage, and he is going to take a Grass Knot, and he's probably not. He's not loving that at all. He's going to go ahead and get buffeted by the Hail, and surprisingly enough, he actually lives after leftovers damage and then the toxic damage. He actually lives it, I believe. Let's see. Yeah, he actually lives that. So that was actually pretty shocking, and he's going to be able to get off a recover, but at the same time, he's kind of screwed because of the toxic damage. He's not going to be able to recover enough to live this next Grass Knot. So he is going to take that. He is going to go ahead and take some more hail damage, and then he's just going to die to toxic. So Jellicent was pretty annoying, but at the same time, he played it very well. But, you know, shit happens, and that thing's just going to die. So yeah, Jellicent's going to go down, and I was pretty confident, but it's kind of sad to see that Tyrantrum is coming out now. So because I'm at such low health, Tyrantrum can pretty much run through me, and at this point I really don't want to switch because taking damage on anything would be a horrible idea. So I'm just going to let him go for the Dragon Claw here, and King Derp is going to go ahead and just go down. So I'm sorry, King Derp, but it was necessary. He is going to get buffeted by the Hail. Again, the residual damage is kind of helping me out quite a bit. I'm going to go out into my last Pokemon, which is Man Bear Pig, and I am actually going to get off a Scarfed superpower on that thing, and that is going to be the end of the game. So yeah, thank you guys for watching. Definitely hit that subscribe button, and I will see you guys next time. And also I will be doing another giveaway with this video, so definitely make sure to look out for that. You'll have a good day. I'm out.